You're halfway through your second bag of sunflower seeds when you realize the parking lot's too quiet. It's a rest stop, one of those sun-bleached gas and go places off a long stretch of highway. Nothing around but dry brush vending machines and the faint buzz of fluorescent lights under a concrete awning. You'd stepped out for 5 minutes, maybe 10. Just needed to walk, stretch your legs, clear your head from the cramped back seat full of snacks accusations and unsolicited advice. You had earbuds in. That part you remember? Probably why you didn't hear the car pull away. But now, gone. You check your phone. Black screen. Dead. You knew the battery was low, should have charged it last night, but your sister hogged the power bank because she had to post the group selfie. The one you weren't in. The one where you stood just out of frame holding bags no one offered to help carry. You glance up and down the road. Nothing but the occasional 18-wheeler thundering past like it has somewhere better to be. A family of 4 gets into their SUV nearby. The dad glances at you, then looks away like you're a stray dog not worth the mess. You laugh once quiet and humorless. They really left. You sit on the edge of the curb, gripping your knees like they might stop your chest from hollowing out. You replay the last conversation in the car, trying to figure out if it was that bad. If your dad really meant it when he said, "You think you're too good for us now, huh?" Or if your mom's silence after was the part that said more. You thought it would blow over. It always did. They'd make a few jokes at your expense, you'd pretend to laugh, someone would sigh and say, "Can't you just be normal?" And then the car would keep rolling. But this time it didn't. This time they kept going. You don't cry. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because the tears are so far down, so buried beneath years of biting your tongue, that they've turned to something else. Something quieter. Something sharper. You walk to the gas station scanning for a payphone like it's 1997. There's none, of course. Inside it smells like fried everything. The guy behind the counter looks about 19 and half asleep. "Hey, you say, any chance I could use your charger iPhone?" He shrugs, doesn't even make eye contact. "Got one in the back. Might be slow. I'll take it." He disappears, comes back with a cable that's frayed at the tip but functional. You plug in by the mini fridge crouched on the floor next to the bottled teas and mystery sandwiches. 5%. 10. 12. You pull open your texts. Nothing from your parents. Nothing from your sister. Just the last group message from earlier. "Rest stop in 10, make it quick." You did. They didn't. You check the time. It's been 23 minutes since you noticed the car was gone. You call. No answer. You text. Still nothing. Then you notice the group chat. Still open. Still active. Someone, your cousin, just sent a laughing emoji. You scroll up. Your sister. "Let's see if he can make it without us." Your dad, character building. Your mom doesn't say anything. Just a thumbs up. And in that moment, something in you stops trying, stops reaching, stops pretending this was ever about love. It was about control. You stand, walk back outside. The sun's lower now, shadows stretching long across the pavement. Your stomach growls. You reach into your backpack, still with you, thank God, and pull out a half-melted granola bar. It's dry. It tastes like memory. But it's enough. You look down the highway, then up again, and you start walking. Not toward home. Not toward them. Just forward. The sun dips low enough to burn the backs of your calves, but you keep walking anyway. No plan, no map, just asphalt, one foot in front of the other, and the unmistakable hum of being absolutely, undeniably alone. You pass a ditch full of crushed cans and weeds. Somewhere in the distance, a hawk circles, like it knows something you don't. You take the long way around a barbed wire fence, even though the shortcut would save 20 minutes, because you're not in the mood to bleed for time. By hour 2, your legs ache in that good sore way, the kind that reminds you that you're not sitting quietly in the back seat anymore. You're moving, on your own, under your own weight. You thumb through your phone again, hoping for a miracle. 1 bar of signal, no new texts. The charger got you up to 27%. Not enough to leave stream your pain, just enough to know that no one's coming. But that's when you see the truck. Parked outside a dusty roadside diner that looks like it's seen better decades. The rig is bright red, clean, and humming. You hesitate for a moment. You've never been the type to ask for help, especially not from strangers, but your feet are getting heavy and the air smells like fries and air conditioning. You push the door open, bell overhead jingling like something out of a memory you don't own. Inside, it's cooler. Booths upholstered in faded vinyl. 2 old men play chess in the corner. A woman with a thick braid pours coffee like it's a language. The trucker sits alone. Big guy flannel shirt, wedding ring, eyes kind. You nod once as you approach. Sorry to bother. Just wondering, do you happen to be headed east? He looks up slowly, fork paused halfway to his mouth. Might be. Why? I got left behind. He doesn't laugh, doesn't ask what you did. He just studies your face like he's trying to figure out if you're real. Then he gestures to the seat across from him. Eat something first, then we'll talk. You slide into the booth. The waitress walks over without being asked. He's with you. The trucker nods. Yep. She sets down a plate. Eggs, toast, bacon. Hot and greasy and perfect. You don't argue. You eat like the meal is a kind of apology the universe forgot to send. Like it's proof that not everyone thinks you're disposable. When you finish, the trucker stands and throws a few bills on the table. I'm heading toward Baton Rouge. I can drop you at a main station. You'll figure it out from there. You follow him out. In the cab, the air smells like pine and road trip mints. The seatbelt sticks, the windows rattle, but it's warm, safe, and he doesn't ask questions. Name's Dawn, he finally says. You. You give it, quietly. Like saying it too loud might make the moment vanish. You got family? You pause, then answer, I used to think so. He nods like he understands more than he's letting on. Some people don't know what they've got till they've pushed it away so far it don't come back. The ride is mostly silent. He hums along to the radio. You rest your forehead against the window, watching the world smear past in colors of dusk and headlights. At the next gas stop, he hands you a bottle of water and a protein bar. You almost want to cry. Not because it's food, because it's care. You try to hand him a few crumpled dollars from your backpack. He waves it off. Keep it, he says. Use it when you get where you're going. Wherever that is. You nod. He drops you off outside a Greyhound station. The building is half closed and smells like bleach and patience. You wave as he drives off, taillights disappearing into the night. You walk inside, the flicker of vending machine lights casting strange shadows on the tiled floor. You sit on a bench, pull your hoodie tight, and for the first time all day, you let yourself feel it. The rage, the sadness, the sharp, bitter kind of relief. Strangers, it turns out, are kinder than blood. The vending machine hums like it's judging you. You ignore it and plug your phone into the wall socket behind the cracked bench, letting the cold plastic press against your back. The cord stretches tight. Your knees are tucked up to your chest like a wall you forgot you could build. Slowly, your phone wakes up. Notifications flood in as if time is trying to catch up with itself. No missed calls, just the group chat, still buzzing, still active. You hesitate before opening it. Like stepping into a room you know is on fire, but doing it anyway, because some part of you still needs to see the damage with your own eyes. Your cousin, y'all think he figured it out yet? Your sister, Lamau, he probably thinks it was an accident. Your dad, kid, needed to be humbled. Consider it a life lesson. A pause in the messages, then a photo of the family smiling. Midway through dinner at some roadside barbecue place, plates stacked with ribs and cornbread. Your seat's empty. The caption reads, "Freedom tastes good." Your mouth goes dry, not with sadness, but recognition. Like when someone finally says out loud the thing you always suspected they believed. This wasn't a mistake. It was planned. You scroll further. Messages from earlier that morning. Your mom, "If we leave now, he won't even notice until we're halfway out." Your dad, "Let's see if he can make it without us." And your sister's reply, "He can't." The words sit there black. Text on a bright screen glowing like a wound you didn't know you still had open. You should feel broken, but you don't. What you feel is something cleaner, like snapping ice. They didn't forget you. They chose to leave you, not because you failed them, but because you stopped needing them in the way they wanted you to. You close the group chat. You don't respond. You don't defend yourself. Let them think you're struggling, panicking, crawling through payphones and begging strangers. That version of the story flatters their egos. You know better. You have $82 in your wallet, a backpack full of half-used notebooks, and a phone that still works. It's not much, but it's yours. You open a new app, check the job boards. You've always been good at finding work fast. The kind of hustle that doesn't show up on resumes, dishwashing night shifts, data entry from borrowed Wi-Fi and loud cafes. You book a ticket out of this town. Not home because that word's been redefined now. Just forward. While the ticket downloads, you scroll to your photo gallery. You find the picture they didn't know you took, the one from this morning, your face framed in the side mirror of the car before you got out. Your expression is unreadable, quiet, like someone already bracing for impact. You crop it, post it, no caption, just a new profile picture. Then, for the first time in forever, you do something radical. You leave the family group chat. No explosion, no announcement, just exit. You sit back and let the stillness settle. It's not peace yet, but it's the first page of it. Around you, the bus station clicks and hums with low movement. A woman hums to her baby. A man paces with a paper bag full of nerves. You're just another body in motion. No one knows who you are. No one cares what you left behind. And that anonymity, it tastes like freedom. The bus ride is long and quiet. You sit by the window, cheek pressed to cool glass, watching the towns flicker by like old memories you don't belong to anymore. Gas stations, rusting signs, diners that smell like burnt coffee and regret. No one asks your name. No one cares why you're alone. You like that. A woman a few rows ahead hums softly under her breath. A man near the back snores in jerky fits. You close your eyes not to sleep but to rest from being seen wrong for so long. You make it to the city by morning. It's bigger than you remember. Louder, messier, but in a way that feels like motion instead of chaos. You step off the bus with your backpack and a list of addresses you scribbled on your phone shelters. Day jobs, coffee shops that don't ask for degrees. First stop, the apartment you used to live in. A third-floor walk-up with peeling paint and a landlord who talked in riddles. You shared it with 2 roommates during your second year in the city. Back when you still sent family updates like a kid turning in homework hoping for praise. You buzz the door. Once, twice. No answer. You buzz again. Finally, a familiar voice crackles through the speaker. Who is it? You give your name. There's a pause. The door buzzes open. You climb the stairs leg, shaking more from emotion than exertion. Your old roommate opens the door. Sam. Same hoodie, same glasses sliding down his nose. He looks at you like he's trying to decide if this is a ghost or a memory. Dude, he says, you look like hell. You laugh. That good, huh? He steps aside. Come in. The apartment's cleaner than you remember. Smells like soap and last night's pizza. You drop your bag by the couch and sink into a seat that still squeaks in the same spot. Sam doesn't ask questions at first. He just makes you a grilled cheese and pours you a glass of water. Then finally he says, so what happened? You tell him. Not everything, not yet. Just the broad strokes. The road trip, the rest stop, the group chat, the silence. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't pity you. Just nods slowly like he's watching a puzzle come together piece by piece. When you finish, he says, you can crash here for a few days. You blink, really? Of course, he says, you're not them. The kindness stings more than the abandonment did. Because it reminds you that it's not the whole world that's cruel. It's just some people who can't handle your growth unless it includes their reflection. You shower, change, sleep for 11 straight hours on the floor with a pillow that smells like detergent and forgiveness. And the next morning you get up. You put on the cleanest shirt you own. You walk to the nearest cafe with a help wanted sign. You fill out the form with a pen that skips. And when the manager asks if you have experience, you smile and say, I learn fast. By the end of the week, you're behind the counter, taking orders, burning your fingertips on espresso handles, earning enough to buy yourself groceries and dignity. You check your phone one night and see your sisters tried to call. Twice. You don't answer. You delete the voicemails without listening, because you've already heard everything they needed to say in their laughter. You don't need a reply. You just need a future. Your alarm goes off before sunrise now. The rhythm settles in quickly, apron-tied sleeves, rolled steam rising, orders shouted and scratched onto slips. The cafe hums like a machine that finally fits your gears. No one's handing you anything, but no one's taking anything away either. Your feet hurt, your back aches, but every blister feels like progress. At first you think of them constantly. Every time you dump a bag of trash or wipe a counter, a flicker of memory plays in the background. Your dad laughing at your soft hands, your sister saying, you'd never survive a real job. But then slowly they fade. Their voices get quieter, not because you forgive them, but because you're replacing their words with your own. After shifts, you stay late to help close. You clean the espresso machine like it's a ritual. You start picking up extra hours, watching how the books are kept, how inventory works. You take notes when no one's looking. You ask questions like someone who's not just working, but building. One night as you mop the floor, the manager Linda leans against the counter, arms crossed. You looking to move up, she asks. You blink. Honestly, yeah. She nods. You've got the kind of hunger that doesn't come from ambition. It comes from being told you'll never eat. You don't respond. You don't need to. She already sees it. She teaches you how to manage orders, how to read schedules, how to fix the register when it freezes. You learn everything like it's oxygen. 3 months in, you've saved enough for a deposit. The apartment is tiny, 1 room, 2 windows, no elevator. The walls are thin, and the heater rattles like it's got ghosts inside, but the lease is in your name. You sign it with the same hand that once gripped a rest stop curb in silence. The first night there, you eat cold noodles from the container on the floor. No furniture yet, but your own keys on the counter. It doesn't feel like success. It feels like sovereignty. You hang a single thing on the wall, a piece of printer paper with a message you wrote in permanent marker. They left, I arrived. You still think about them sometimes. When the light hits your phone at a certain angle. When you see a group laughing too loud at a table. When a customer hands you a tip and calls you kid, even though you've outlived that name. But now the memories don't weigh you down. They float, manageable, shrinking, like bruises that know they're healing. One day you're unlocking the cafe when a delivery driver hands you a clipboard to sign. He glances at you, then does a double take. Wait, he says, you're that kid, right? From online. You freeze. What? Someone posted a thread about that family who left you. It blew up. Crazy story. They said you disappeared. You blink. I didn't disappear. I just stopped chasing. He laughs. Good for you, man. That was messed up. Glad to see you landed on your feet. You nod slowly as he drives off. You don't tell anyone else. Not yet. You're not ready to share that part of your story with people who see you now, not the version they think they remember. But later that night, you open your phone. The group chat long left behind is gone. But your sister. She's posted something on social. A throwback photo? The one they took at the roadside barbecue the day they left you behind. Captioned, you live, you learn. Sometimes you lose the ones who needed you most. The comments are full of sympathy. She's cast herself as the victim. Of course. You close the app. You don't comment. You don't message. You just turn off your phone, light a cheap candle, sit on the floor of your own apartment, and feel something they never expected you to find. Stability. Somewhere between month 4 and 5, your silence becomes power. You don't post, you don't reply, you just build. The cafe promotes you to assistant manager. Linda hands you the new badge without ceremony. No speech, just a pat on the shoulder, and try not to burn out, yeah. You hang the badge on your lanyard like armor. Not because you need the title, but because it reminds you that effort matters more than inheritance. One night while tallying receipts, your phone buzzes. Unknown number. You don't answer. A minute later, a text. It's your dad. We need to talk. You stare at the screen. You wonder what triggered the message. Another internet post. A rumor that your life isn't crumbling like they assumed. You don't reply. 3 days later, another message. Your mom this time, can we start over? You're still our son. You laugh out loud alone in the back room because the phrase still our son feels more like a branding claim than a truth. Still, as if you ever stopped being theirs. As if love is a patent they forgot to renew. You go home that night and reread the texts. You let them sit there silent and unopened. You make dinner cheap pasta, extra garlic, and eat in bed. You don't need anyone to validate your choices anymore. They do it again the next week. Your sister, this time, I know we were hard on you, but things are different now. We miss you. Come visit. And beneath it, a second message. Also, any chance you can help with rent? There it is. Not just a reunion, a transaction. You imagine the conversations they must be having behind closed doors, how they reframe your story to suit their comfort. He needed space. He was always sensitive. We didn't mean to actually hurt him, but they did. And now they want to fold you back into their lives like nothing happened. You don't reply. Instead, you take the next step. You open a new account, business savings. You've been quietly consulting for a friend's e-commerce side project after shifts. A few hundred here, a bonus there. It's starting to add up. You name the account No Return Fund. It's a joke, but it's not. You start researching property. Not because you need to move again, your apartment is enough for now, but because you want to know what it feels like to choose the ground beneath your feet. You make a list, places you could see yourself thriving, cities where no one knows your name unless you tell them. One night, as rain taps against your window and the candle flickers low, you get another text. Ben, your cousin, the quiet one. Never said much. Never joined the pile on. His message is short. I saw what they did. I'm sorry. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. You stare at it. It's the first message that doesn't feel like bait. You reply, "Thanks, I'm doing okay. Hope you are too." He sends back a heart emoji. No pressure, no agenda. And just like that, a single thread connects your past to your present without trying to pull you backward. The next morning, you open the cafe early. You clean the windows, restock the napkins, greet the regulars by name. You're not rich, you're not famous, but you're stable. You're self-made. And most importantly, you're unbothered. You're wiping down the espresso machine when the bell above the cafe door rings and freezes you mid-motion. Because it's them. Your mother enters first, clutching her purse like a shield. Your father's behind her eyes, scanning the place with casual superiority, like he's inspecting something he already thinks he understands. And your sister? Well, she wears guilt like perfume. Heavy. Intentional. Designed to linger. They didn't warn you. Of course not. They're the type to make an entrance, not a request. You don't speak. You don't need to. They see you behind the counter apron on hand-stamped name tag gleaming in fluorescent light. Your mom does that soft rehearsed smile. There you are. You look at her like a stranger who accidentally sat at your table. Linda sees them before you say anything and gives you a look. You nod once. She takes over the counter without asking. You step around the bar slow and deliberate and lead them to the table near the window, the one you always clean last. Your dad pulls out a chair with more force than necessary. Didn't think we'd have to chase you down in public. You sit across from them, calm, measured, hands folded. I didn't ask you to come. Your sister speaks up. We didn't come to fight. Then why are you here? A beat of silence. Your mom clears her throat. We saw some things online, people talking. It didn't sound like you. You smile slightly. It sounded exactly like me. Your dad leans forward. Look, we know things got tense, but you're making us look like monsters. You tilt your head. I didn't make you leave me at a rest stop. They flinch. Your sister tries to pivot. That was a mistake. We didn't think you'd take it so personally. You blink. You left me on purpose. I saw the group chat. You laughed about it. Your mom sighs. We didn't know it would go this far. There it is. Not an apology, just regret for consequences. You look out the window. A couple crosses the street holding hands. A dog barks in the distance. The world mercifully keeps moving. Your voice is calm. I don't owe you access to me just because you changed your tone. Your dad scoffs. You think you're better than us now. No, you say. I think I'm just not willing to be worse to keep you comfortable. Your sister folds her arms. So, that's it, you just cut us off. You shake your head. No, you did that. I just stopped pretending it didn't happen. Your mom's face cracks. We're family. You look her in the eye. Family doesn't make you prove your worth by surviving their cruelty. Your dad pushes back his chair. You're being dramatic, and you're being dismissed. You stand, not rushed, not emotional, just done. I'm not asking you to understand. I'm not asking you to feel sorry. But I am asking you to leave. Your sister opens her mouth. You hold up a hand. If you want to talk to me again, start by apologizing for what you did. Not how it made you look, not how it hurt your image. What you did. They stare at you like you've grown horns, like the version of you they could mock and mold has been replaced, and maybe in a way it has. You walk them to the door. They leave without another word. Linda raises an eyebrow as you return. Family. You nod. She pours you a coffee without asking. They don't get to claim you just because they knew your name first. You sit at the corner booth with the hot mug between your hands. Outside, the sun catches in the window just right. And for the first time since they walked in, you breathe deep, uninterrupted. You expect the fallout by morning. You even brace for it. Double-check your socials, log out of old email accounts. Prepare yourself for the passive-aggressive wave you know is coming. And right on schedule it does. Your aunt posts a vague message. Some people forget who fed them before they could feed themselves. Shame. Your uncle chimes in the comments. Ungrateful doesn't even begin to cover it. Your mom goes subtler, just a photo of a candle. And the caption, praying for hearts that have turned cold. You laugh a little. It's not even clever. It's not even personal. It's projection dressed up as mourning. Then the DMs start rolling in. A high school friend you haven't spoken to in years. Hey, your sister says you've changed. That you're shutting everyone out. An old neighbor I don't want to take sides, but you okay? as if being healthy and unavailable is a sign of collapse. You don't respond. You open your notes app instead and type 3 words. Let them spin, because that's what they're doing now, grasping for a narrative that doesn't make them the villain. Rewriting history in group chats and behind closed doors, trying to bury their laughter beneath manufactured grief. But here's the truth. You gave them silence. They mistook it for weakness. You gave them boundaries. They called it betrayal. You gave them space. They tried to fill it with lies. Linda notices you're quieter during your shift. Want to talk, she asks. You shake your head, I'm good. And you are. Because underneath the noise, there's a strange peace settling in your chest. A stillness. Like your life is finally becoming your own property again. You spend the next few days off the grid. No scrolling, no watching the circus. You read books you never finished. You repaint the corner of your apartment wall that's been chipped for months. You go for walks at night and let your breath fog in the cold, unhurried air. And then, almost like a joke, your dad texts again. You've made your point, but if you keep dragging us through the mud, we'll have to defend ourselves. You stare at the screen for a long moment. He thinks silence was your message. He thinks you started the war. You open your laptop. You write. Not a takedown, not a hit piece. Just the story, plain undressed honest. You describe the road trip, the rest stop, the group chat, the walk, the diner, the couch, the cafe. You don't exaggerate. You don't need to. The facts do the work. You post it anonymously, not for revenge, for record, for your own clarity. Within a day, it spreads. Not viral, but steady. People sharing it with comments like, "This happened to me. This is why I left." They always come back once you've rebuilt. And suddenly the story's no longer yours alone. It's a pattern. You close your laptop. You make a cup of tea. And when the next text comes, your sister, this time full of capital letters and wounded demands, you don't respond. You block the number, not out of cruelty, but out of conclusion. They wrote you off. Now you've written them out. The internet forgets fast, but the people who needed your story, they don't. You start getting messages from strangers, real ones. No pity, just resonance. Your post helped me leave a toxic situation. My family did the same thing. I thought I was the only one. You're not wrong for walking away. You read them one by one, letting each word settle inside you like soft sand, smoothing over old cracks. It's not fame. It's not vindication. It's witness. And for the first time, being seen doesn't feel dangerous. It feels deserved. Ben messages again. Saw the post. I knew it. You told the truth. I'm proud of you. You reply, thanks. You were the only one who didn't make me feel like a burden. He texts back a photo of a quiet lake. His caption just says, "Come visit sometime. There's room." You stare at that photo longer than you mean to. Not because you're planning to go, but because it reminds you that not all bridges burn. Some just lead elsewhere. Meanwhile, your sister goes quiet. No more messages. No more vague shade online. She retreats into the background like someone realizing their bluff has been called. But your mother, she doubles down. One day, a letter arrives at the cafe. Handwritten, floral paper, the same cursive she used on every birthday card you never read past the first line. Linda hands it to you like it might explode. You open it after your shift in the quiet of the stockroom. It's 4 pages long. Not once does she say sorry. Instead, it reads like a list of her wounds, her confusion, her sadness that you've allowed distance to grow like mold between blood. You fold the letter in half, then again, and you throw it out. You don't need to set it on fire. You already stopped breathing it in. The next week, your apartment gets a little brighter. Literally. You buy a secondhand lamp, the kind that bends at the neck like it's bowing to your progress. You hang art on the wall, your own drawings, rough, abstract, real. You replace your thrift store blanket with one that feels like softness for no reason at all. Then, one evening, as the cafe winds down and the last of the coffee cools in its pot, a journalist emails you. They read your anonymous post. They traced it back to you. They want to write a longer piece, your voice, your terms. You sit with the idea. You make tea. You reply yes, but not to take them down, to show others they're not alone. They agree. You sit down and start writing the way you always wished someone had written about you. With care, with clarity, with enough distance to see the full shape of what happened, not just the scars, but the empty spaces you had to grow into. It goes live 2 weeks later. The title is simple. What they called Leaving Me Behind, I call Starting Over. You don't promote it. You don't even post it on your own page. But it finds its way into the world, and people read it, and people recognize themselves. You become something you never expected to be, not a victim, not a hero, but evidence. That you can be discarded and still build, that you can be forgotten and still flourish, that you can walk away not with rage, but with roots. And on a quiet night, long after the last message comes and goes, you light a candle. You make toast. You sit with your back against the wall, feet stretched out in front of you, and realize you no longer need closure. You've already opened something better. It's moving day. Not the dramatic kind. Not a big city shift or a cross-country leap, just 3 blocks over. A little higher up. Better light. A balcony. You pack your life into 4 boxes and 2 bags. Clothes you actually like. Mugs that don't remind you of anyone. Books you chose, not ones you inherited out of obligation. You carry them in stages. No one helps. No one needs to. It feels good, this slowness. This quiet labor of lifting what's truly yours. The new place smells like lemon cleaner and possibility. You open the windows wide and let the city pour in cars and laughter and someone shouting about a lost cat. Life unfiltered. Your phone buzzes on the windowsill. A name lights up the screen. Blocked. You turn it face down. No ceremony. You put on music, something soft but certain. You unpack your lamp, plug it in, and smile when it flickers to life. You hang your old drawings again, only now they look intentional. Artifacts of growth, not desperation. There's a knock at the door. You pause, not expecting anyone. You open it. It's Linda holding a plant in a chipped ceramic pot. "Don't kill it," she says. "But if you do, don't tell me." You laugh. "Come in." She walks through the doorway like she belongs there. Like someone who knew you before the story got retold too many times. She sets the plant down on the counter and looks around. "It's good," she says. "Feels like yours." "It is." She nods. "Told you." Some people don't know what they've got until they can't twist it anymore. You pour 2 glasses of sparkling water. Sit, talk. Not about family, not about the internet, just music, food. The tiny, ordinary things that don't need defending. When she leaves, you linger in the doorway for a moment, holding the handle, breathing in the stillness. Then you close it, lock it, not out of fear, out of choice. You sleep that night with the window cracked open and the breeze wrapping around your feet. The stars don't look down in judgment. They just blink quiet and constant. You wake up to light hitting your face and the smell of coffee you made for yourself. And for the first time, there's no tightness in your chest, no bracing for the message, no imagining what they'll twist next. You are no longer surviving their choices. You are living your own, not to prove anything, not to win, just because you can. The new apartment settles around you like a breath you didn't know you'd been holding for years. It creaks differently. The floor hums when the neighbors move above you. The light through the curtains paints slow-moving shapes on the wall. No urgency, no sharp edges. You lie still wrapped in your blanket, not out of exhaustion this time, but peace. The kind that doesn't need to be announced. The kind that comes quietly when no one is watching. Outside, the world continues, its rush-honking cars, clicking heels on pavement, keys jangling down the hall. But inside this small high room, there is only you. Just you and the rhythm of your breath and the silence you chose. You no longer flinch when your phone lights up. You no longer scroll waiting to see if someone decided to rewrite the past again. You've stopped performing, stopped explaining, stopped asking for anything that should have been freely given. You made it. Not just through them, beyond them. There are no trophies here, no crowd waiting to applaud. Just the subtle miracle of your own stillness. The knowledge that you were never lost. You were just walking a path they couldn't imagine. And now, you've arrived in a space where your story belongs to you. In a life that feels built, not borrowed. And if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself.